Now, onto the marinade. So I'm going to use a few mixture of things. I'm going to use garlic, ginger and pimento seasoning. If you don't have that, you can use ground ginger, ground garlic and ground pimento. Some chicken seasoning as always, some black pepper. Everyday seasoning is basically the same thing. Like, I'm sorry, but Dunn's River, I'm sure you did promote the same thing. I'm not sure, but am I going to put both in the same way? Yes, I am, because I don't cook with salt when I'm seasoning up chicken. We try and cut down on it a little bit. Then what have we got over here? I'm going to add a little bit of rosemary, dried rosemary, some thyme. What else? I think that is it. If you don't have this, then I will put what can substitute this, because it is very hard to find. I'm always struggling, but yeah, when I do find it, I use this as opposed to using garlic granules, garlic powder, ginger, all of that. It's just all in here. Okay, so we've got our chicken legs and we're going to go straight into it. Everyday seasoning, all-purpose seasoning, whichever one you wish. Put about a teaspoon of that in there. Then the chicken seasoning by Dunn's River, which is basically the same, but we're going to use both anyway. Use about a teaspoon of that as well. Actually, it's not, it's different colour. Oh gosh. Alright, that was about a teaspoon and a half, but add a teaspoon, okay? A teaspoon of black pepper, and then a 3/4 teaspoon of this garlic, ginger and pimento seasoning. Not too much of that. Dried thyme, we'll add about half a teaspoon. And then we'll add about a 1/4 teaspoon and a bit of rosemary. And then again, I'm going to put a glove on to season this up. Oh, how can I forget? So wait, I'm putting my glove on first, and then some Maggi Liquid Seasoning. This is optional, you don't need to, but I just like the seasoning of this. It just tastes really good. So yeah, you don't need to use this. Or if you don't want to use Maggi Liquid Seasoning, use light soy sauce, okay? So use about 2 teaspoons of this. And if not that, light soy sauce. It's going to give it a little colour as well. So yeah, and then just begin to season up the chicken like so. And also, you know what? The fact that I added a little bit extra chicken seasoning is alright. What I do, top tip, if you are not leaving the chicken to marinate, add a little bit extra of everything. I'm telling you, you just enhance the flavour a little bit. It won't be salty. Just trust the process. If you let things marinate for longer, the flavour is stronger. Oh, hold on. Did Shan just come up with a little tagline? If you let things marinate for longer, the taste is stronger, okay? But if you don't, you know, put a little bit extra, okay? And your chicken should look like this. This is exactly how you want it. I think I might leave it to marinate whilst I chop the vegetables and stuff to go with it. But yeah, apart from that, there we go. Our seasoned up chicken. Now, because we are doing roast chicken and gravy in the same pan, I'm going to prepare all of the like extra veggies that we're putting along with it. Thinking whether I want to put garlic in this as well, but I think I might just use a few mini cloves like this. I'm going to peel it, but I'm not going to chop it, and you'll see why, because we're going to roast it. I just want them to cook whole, and then we're going to mash them into the gravy. Yeah, I'm just using 1 small onion and 2 small cloves of garlic. And normally I'd cut the onions into quarters. Oh, this onion is not good. This onion is not good. Okay, take 2. We need another onion. Alright, take 2. 1 small onion. And thinking because you roast them, you don't want the onions to burn, so that's why I end up putting them in chopped quite big, just to prevent them from burning. So yeah, you know what, we're going to keep that same energy. I'm not going to do them in quarters, but I'm not going to chop it finely either. We're going to just, well yeah, you'll see. So then, yep, chop this into 4. So get your garlic, get a wide knife, press down, and then it should crack like this, and you should be able to chop off the head of the garlic and peel the skin off, and then boom, garlic clove. Leave that with the onions as well. And then just chop your salad tomato. That can be chopped however, because it doesn't really matter. And then I'm just going to get some of this fresh thyme out as well. Oh, let me just put it here. And give your fresh thyme a rinse as well. So just a small bunch like that. So let me just give this a rinse. Okay, and then your veggies for the chicken are prepared, so let's just rest that to the side. Okay, so I've got a baking tray here. Just giving it a bit of a dry down. I'm not going to put down any foil or any baking paper for this one. Yeah, you'll see why. And then what you're going to do, just get the chicken that you seasoned up. You can put foil down, which will make it easier in the cleaning process, but I'm going to put foil down this time. You know what, I am. The reason why I'm going to put down foil, baking trays lately have been terrible. I know a lot of people say to me, why do you use foil all the time? Listen, when you're trying to make a gravy in the bottom of your tray, it can get very tactical when the trays that you're using aren't great. Bear in mind, I did buy this tray from Chanell, and they're alright. They're alright, but I just know that if I line it with foil, it's gonna be better. So yeah, anyway, use a good baking tray or line your tray with foil like that. Get your seasoned chicken and put it down skin side up. No, yeah, skin side up like that. Because you want the chicken to get crispy and stay crispy, because we're not going to flip these. And again, you guys will understand why. Just trust the process. So put all of your chicken legs onto the tray. Like that, fits perfectly. And then we're going to begin to add some of the vegetables that we chopped up. So the thyme. Just dot that around the chicken. There's no like particular way to do this, just do it how you want to do it. Just try not to get it like directly onto the chicken. Try and put it in the gaps. And then put some of your tomato in those gaps as well. All of these will release juices and stuff, and we're going to put some butter down as well, so don't worry about anything burning. And then the same with the onion and the garlic. Just start everything around like that. In about 30 minutes I think we're going to add some butter to this. So basically put it in at 160 for 30 minutes, and then we're going to check on this afterwards. So this is our chicken after about 20-25 minutes. As you could hear, the kettle was boiling because I need a cup of tea, man. It's too cold. Even though it's warm in the kitchen, I'm just, yeah. So before I do that, I'm going to add some butter to the pan. Not too much. It will just soften the onions nicely. And the garlic, it will just, oh yeah, trust the process with that. And also, what you're going to need for the actual recipe for this is corn flour. You guys know I like to use corn flour to make my gravy, but today I've got to go to the dark side because I don't have any corn flour. I'm going to use Bisto to thicken up my gravy, but don't worry, it's not fully going to be Bisto. We're going to allow this to keep on releasing some juices, and then we're going to enhance the gravy, basically is what I'm saying. But yeah, use corn flour normally. You don't really have to use the gravy, but if you want it to be quick, you know, you can use the Bisto gravy as well. So yeah, put this back in for about 15 minutes and then we're going to start building up the gravy. Okay, and then quickly I'm going to make this little stock for our gravy. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of Bisto into a bowl. Again, if you wasn't to use Bisto, you would use corn flour, and it would be about 2 teaspoons of corn flour to about 4 tablespoons of cold water. Mix it in, add it to your stock, and then yeah, it will thicken up your gravy. Thicken this up. And don't add too much water yet, because we're going to add water to the stock in the tray. So you don't want to make this too thin or too thick, you just kind of want it to be in the middle, because this is just to thicken up all those flavours. And also, if you like a lot of gravy, this is a way to stretch out the gravy as well. So yeah, just mix that up. As you can see, our chicken is still roasting, it's not fully cooked. So I'd like for this to still get a little browner. Yeah, and it's quite juicy. So again, what we do now, just prick it a little bit, because what it's going to do is release the juice from the chicken, which is going to make this gravy, yeah, it's going to make it wonderful. Okay, so this needs probably about 30 more minutes. So we're going to add a bit of water, a bit more things in here, and then we're going to put it back in for about half an hour. But as you can see, the onions are soft. The garlic, there's a piece of garlic here, that's soft as well, so I'm just going to mush that down. I'm going to add a few drops of Maggi into this, just to again build up that stock, and then some hot boiling water into the bottom, not too much, until it's about halfway past the chicken, and don't pour it directly on the chicken, pour it around the chicken. Okay, so it should basically cover the bottom of the tray like that. That's fine, no more than that. Give it a little shake, and even a little, just move everything around, because all those juices that have gone to the bottom of the pan now will work in with the boiling water that you've just put in there. Get the gravy mix here and just take a few spoonfuls and drop them throughout. Just drop them around the chicken like this. This is like a really quick and easy way to make roast chicken and gravy that doesn't taste like you just, you know, did it like this, boiled it, mixed it and added it to your food. Put it in with those juices and in with the chicken, and believe me, you're going to see difference. But the trick is, you don't cover the gravy, you don't cover the chicken in the gravy, because you still want like that roast chicken feel. So you don't want it to feel like you're stewing the chicken or braising it. But if we just keep the chicken above the gravy and let it cook in it halfway, then we should be good. So yeah, we've got our stock now, and this should thicken up as it kind of just reduces down in the oven. Also, I'm thinking, do I do it now or do I do it later? Basically, I like to glaze my chicken with honey. It gives it the most amazing flavour. Yep, we're going to do it now. So just take some honey and just drizzle it over the chicken. Some may say this is going to be sweet. I'm telling you it's not. Everything balances out together. That's the key. When you can balance out salt, sweet, spice, yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. Give the gravy, as I said again, a little mix. I'm not sure if I said, but I actually put the oven on 170 at the beginning. It's been on 170 the whole time. So we're going to put this in at 175. I'm going to put it up a little bit more just to kind of really get it going. And then we'll be able to do our potatoes. And I've decided that I'm going to do Yorkshire puddings. Why not? Let me just do it as well along with this. So yeah, put this back in for about 25 to 30 minutes, 175, and then we'll check on it again. Okay, so it's been about 25 minutes, let me say, and just look at this. The only thing that I'm annoyed about, because if I had my corn flour, this would be the thickness that I wanted, and it's not. So I'm gonna have to do a little something, because if I'm honest, this won't be enough gravy for 5 people, if you was to serve this for 5 people. So I'm going to thicken up this gravy a bit more. So I've got the same amount of gravy granules, about 2 tablespoons, and instead I'm going to add this stock to it. So about 4 teaspoons like that. And just mix it up like so. This should get it thickened up and looking how a gravy is supposed to look, you get me? We don't want no watery gravy, we need it nice and thick. So this is always my little go-to if I don't have corn flour, because the difference is, let me say, corn flour, it thickens it better, and yeah, it just gives a thickness that gravy granules doesn't give. And then obviously gravy granules already has like chicken stock in there, so depending on how much salt you've added to something, you just want to be mindful that if you add too much, then yeah, it could get salty. So that's why I'm just being careful with how much I'm adding. But yeah, I've basically done this, and it's not fully dissolved it, but that's okay. I basically just want this, and then I'm just going to pour it again in different parts of the tray. And I'm also going to keep the bowl to the side just to keep it there just in case I need it again. And then I'm going to put this back in the oven. Now if you feel that your chicken is drying out, cover it with foil at this point. I should be fine because it probably needs about another 15 minutes just to thicken up this gravy really, and then we're good to go. But if you feel like, you know, your oven's working a bit stronger than mine, and fan ovens and electric ovens are different. So mine is an electric oven, not a fan oven. That's something to bear in mind. So mine can get quite hot and cook quite quickly. So yeah, put this back in for about 15 minutes just to thicken up this gravy a bit, and then the chicken is ready. Oh, and also I have some broccoli boiling there. If at any point this gets too thick, I'm going to add in the water from the broccoli into this, you know, flavours and all them thing there. And then here we have our chicken here, which looks delicious. If you just look at that gravy, look at that. Roast chicken and gravy in one pan. Could even make it for Sunday dinner. Just something simple and easy and flavourful. We'll be giving this a taste soon when we plate up our whole dinner once everything is ready.